You need a decade.
like
You need a decade.
A decade.
Yeah.
a 10-year
You
gap
haven't
year.
done nothing.
Alright, so, just to recap where we were before spring break, we are on the last lesson of our conics unit. Conics being, circles, ellipses, hyperbolas, more in-depth parabolas, all that kind of stuff. So the lesson that we have today, we're solving a system, and when you have solved systems of linear equations before, what that means is you had two lines that crossed, and the solution was that point where they crossed, right? So now we're solving systems with more complex things other than a line. So what I would ask you right here is what type of graph do you think x squared plus y squared equals 10 is? Would that be a parabola, a hyperbola, an ellipse, a circle?
We have the same.
We did. Let's get our brains woke up a little bit. I can tell you it's not a parabola,
Circle.
okay? I would be leaning towards either a circle or an ellipse, so that's a good thought on that there, Christian, good job. What gave that away was the plus sign. That's one thing, right?
It's a circle.
Educated. Yes.
Okay, if it had a minus sign, it would have to be hyperbola. But it's got a plus sign, so it's either a circle or an ellipse. And then an ellipse, we said equal to 1. So we would probably be leaning towards a circle. So what do you think this second one is? Y equals negative 3x plus 10. Parabola's got one of the letters squared. Neither one of these is squared.
So it's a
No. Hyperbola, everything's squared. This is basic right here. This is not anything new or fancy. It's a line. That's in slope-intercept form. So what we have here is a circle and a line. So it could have two solutions, right? It could have no solutions. They never intersect. Or it could have a tangent and have one solution. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking for as we solve this. All right. Now, when we solve systems of equations in Algebra 1, when it was those two linear things, the methods that were covered were graphing, substitution, and elimination. We're not going to do graphing just because that's the least accurate, because it could fall 2/3 of the way between 2 points and you're not be able to tell on your paper, you know. So we're either going to do substitution or elimination, and we're going to do whichever one it's ready for. This one is ready for substitution. How do I know that?
No clue.
It's got the variable.
Good.
by themselves.
Good, Tyler. On that second one, y is already solved for. So since this is what y is, we're going to take that and substitute it in for the y. Okay, everybody all right on that? So we're going to say x squared plus, instead of y, we're going to put this whole piece, what y is, squared, because it was y squared, equals 10.
It's the same equation. It all goes together.
Okay, so does this mean I just square negative 3x and square 10?
No.
No, very good. That means I have to write that quantity twice and multiply them out. So I'll come do that down here. So that's going to get me there a 9x squared. Negative 3x times 10 is negative 30x. And then I got another negative 30x there. So that gives me a negative 60x. And then 10 times 10 is a hundo. So we got x squared plus 9x squared minus 60x plus 100 is equal to 10. Try to cram all that in there. Then you're going to combine like terms, right? There's no new math that we're doing here. So we've got 10x squared minus 60x plus 100 is equal to 10. All right, so we're trying to solve that line right there, 10x squared minus 60x plus 100. What type of equation is that? Got it.
Difficult one.
Oh, quit whining. Got it. It's a name. We've used it already today. When your highest power is 2, what type of equation are you?
Quadratic.
Quadratic. So methods for solving quadratic that we know.
The F squared.
The
Factoring
fact.
or quadratic formula. So either one of those are good to go here. Both of those need to be set equal to 0, right? So I would move that 10 over to start with. So I'm gonna say 10x squared minus 60x. If I subtract 10 from both sides, that would make plus 90 is equal to 0. Now, it's my personal preference, and y'all know this because we're in the 4th 9 weeks, and this is how I do things, but it's not required. I would then divide that whole equation by 10 to get some smaller numbers easier to work with. So just reduce it. So it'll be x squared minus 6x plus 9 is equal to 0. Now, Christian, it's real easy to see if that factors, and it does, or it's real easy to go to the quadratic formula, either one. What factors do I have? What multiplies to get me 9, but adds to get me negative 6?
Negative 3 and negative 3.
Yes, sirree. Okay, so if we set both those equal to 0 and solve, if x minus 3 equals 0, then that means x equals 3. Okay, so far Christian is correct on his early input. Now, remember, we're looking for that place that the circle and the line are going to intersect. So we need an ordered pair. So what are we going to do with that x?
Plug it in.
Plug it in somewhere to find a y.
And solve.
I would go right back here to this original linear equation that's already solved for y, right? So plug that 3 in right there. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Negative 9 plus 10 is 1. So our y is 1. So Christian did have it correctamundo.
You bet.
So that line and circle, so it's got just that one point of intersection, so it would be tangent there, right?
For sure.
Oh. Holly, you awake over there? I'm seeing it. Uh-huh. After everybody stays up till midnight tonight to watch the Hog game, y'all are gonna really be asleep tomorrow.
That's enough.
Yeah, and they don't even, it's not even scheduled to tip off until almost 9, and you know it'll run late the game before it. What are they trying to kill us?
Barely.
Yeah.
I'm glad we won that one. Was it Saturday?
Yeah,
2 points.
I mean, every game's been a heart attack.
Going is number 1 today.
I thought Baylor was a 2 seed, are they a 1?
I think they're number 1 right
Yeah.
now.
Okay, you know.
We're talking Arkansas's been one.
We're number 3, I think.
Did you get that?
We're good in basketball and baseball. Football,
Oh.
not as much.
Well, football's gonna be better, but all of their sports are doing amazing right now. Like softball's won 18 games in a row. Baseball's ranked number 1. Volleyball's playing their season now because of COVID, and they're ranked real high. Track and field always wins everything. I mean, their track and field program at Arkansas is awesome.
Arkansas, okay.
So all of them are doing pretty good right now.
So we get to have Nashville and Arkansas here.
What's that? What are you talking about? What does that have to do with anything?
They all go to Arkansas.
I don't think they do right now.
There's some schools in Arkansas that have people come from all around.
Anderson.
Harding.
What is that?
He's in Searcy.
Does he live on campus? I've been meaning to ask.
Yeah, he lives
Yeah.
on campus and comes home.
Usually every 2 weekends.
Sometimes he comes home every weekend. Yep, he was home this weekend. Brought a friend.
O2C. Okay, so this is crazy looking. I would say the second equation would be the easiest one for me to identify right off the bat. I think that's a hyperbola, the second equation. Because I can move that 16 over, but then I've got an x squared minus a y squared. And wasn't that the dead giveaway for a hyperbola? The top one, both of them were squared.
It's a 4.
Okay, thanks. On the top one, both of them were squared, so it's not a parabola, it's not a line. it's an addition sign between the x squared and the y squared, right? So that would be either an ellipse or a circle. So we're looking at a hyperbola and an ellipse or a circle. So that could have some strange options, couldn't it? Let's see here, a hyperbola. I mean, it could go like that. It could just be on one touch. Could it be a,
Basketball.
yeah, it could be a no touch only if the circle or ellipse was in the middle. That kinda looks like a tree with a hole in it. So just, that's not necessary. Obviously my drawings are pretty rough, but I just like to get an idea of what I'm looking for. So this could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 0. I'm betting there's a way it could probably have 3 and I hadn't thought of yet. Maybe, I don't know. So could have some multiple answers. All right, is this one ready for substitution? Does it have one of the variables isolated? Negative, Ghost Rider, you're correct, it does not. So
We are talking about the top one, right?
either one of them. Either one of them. Neither one's got a letter all by itself. So what I would do here is it's kinda lined up, ready for elimination. Remember eliminations when you stacked them to get rid of a variable? So I would look at that and I would say those y's are gonna eliminate if I add those equations, aren't they?
Yeah.
So what I need to do to set this up though, is I've gotta have like terms. So x squared are over, check, check, y squared, check, check. Okay, this one's got an x to the first and the bottom one doesn't, so I need to put a 0 there. Remember doing that a long time ago? So let's say, let me just rewrite the top one. I'm getting ready to stack them up and eliminate. Okay, the bottom one, I've got a 1x, where'd my mouse go? There it is. A 1x squared, a negative 1y squared, a 0x, a negative 16, and a 0. So now I've got like terms, then we draw our line and get ready to do our math. And what you're looking for, because this one was already ready for elimination because both of the y's had the same coefficient, 1, 1. So you can eliminate when it's the same. We did them before where we had to multiply something to get them the same. Do you remember that? That was a long time ago.
Wait,
But-
why'd you put -16 on the bottom?
I just brought this down,
Oh, wait, oh, I'm looking at it.
okay? So we see that our y's that both have a 1, 1, they've got opposite signs. So that's a positive one and a negative one. What will eliminate opposite signs? Addition or subtraction?
Addition.
Addition, so that's why, and you can just do a little mental check to ask yourself if you're not sure, what's 1 plus negative 1? 0, so that means you're gonna add the whole thing. So if these signs had been the same here, what would you have had to do?
Flip it.
Not flip it. You'd have to subtract.
Right, it'd be a subtraction problem.
A lot simpler.
Alright, so we got 9x squared plus 1x squared, that gets us 10x squared. Here was our whole point in all this, y squared plus negative y squared, that's nothing, he gone. Shoot. Negative 90x plus 0x is negative 90x. 216 plus negative 16 is 200. And we're already set equal to 0, that's good, because isn't that a quadratic, which means either factor or quadratic formula. Let's go ahead and reduce that, take a 10 out of all of them, can't you do that? So that leaves us with x squared minus 9x plus 20 is equal to 0. Okay, are there any factors of 20 that add to negative 9?
-5, -4.
Yes, sir, Bob. Set both of those equal to 0. What are your solutions there for x?
5 and 4.
5 and 4.
Oh.
So now, that means we're gonna have, this is gonna intersect twice. So we've got 2 x's, so we have to go find 2 y's. So go back up and look and see if there's a place that'll be easy to find a y. How about the second original one, I guess? Is that alright with y'all? Okay, you wanna do the 4 first, stay in numerical order? You good with that, Christian?
I don't know.
We gotta plug those 2 x's that we got into an original equation to find the y that goes with them. Okay, so I think we're gonna plug the 4 in, Christian.
Yeah.
So right here, 4 squared, that's gonna make 16 minus y squared minus 16 equals 0. Okay, well, 16 and negative 16, that's nothing. So you got negative y squared equals 0. Well, divide by negative 1, y squared 0, what's the square root of 0?
-0.
No, don't you do that, there, in whatever weatherman that was. So, for our first answer, when x was 4, y was 0. Okay, now, we gotta plug the 5 in and do the same thing again. So, right here, 5 squared is 25, about out of working space, aren't I? 25 minus y squared minus 16 equals 0. So what's 25 minus 16?
9.
9. I'm going to erase this one that we did, so I got some working on. So I'm going to write that. It is 9. Your Christian's right on his good math there. He didn't say -0. I'm going to write it like this. Is that the same thing? Am I good on that? Y'all all right there? Okay, we're trying to solve for y, so we'd subtract 9. Now my y has a -1 in front of it. How do I undo that? Divide by -1, so it just gives you y squared is equal to 9. So how do you undo a squared?
Squared.
What's the square root of 9? What's the square root of 9?
9.
3's half, right?
Oh, positive negative 3.
Oh, it's a -3, because that's important
I
here,
was
because that
thinking-
gives you another solution, doesn't it? So with our 5, whoops, come on, scroll mouse.
Absolute value of 3.
5 can be with a +3 and a -3, so that would have 3 solution spots. 3 intersections. 3 intersections. Okay, those are the problems that take a little bit longer, because you know, it's not like just scrapping the circle and all that stuff that we did a long time ago before spring break, which I know you've forgotten a lot of. So what we're gonna do tomorrow is an assignment, and I'm gonna start you off and help you along to get started, but it's an assignment that's got them all combined, circles, ellipses, hyperbolas, parabolas, all that. And so we gotta bring it all together and get it back in our memory, because it's been a while. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we'll do study guide stuff, and Friday, we'll make an A on the test. Sound like a
Maybe.
plan, Stan?
Maybe.
Y'all are something else.